I wanted to ask you about your hiring experience, or lack thereof, spoiler alert.
Yeah, to call it a hiring experience would mean that I was hired. Let's call it an interview experience because I did 15 interviews for a well-known company, a well-known tech company that has very publicly made a commitment to hiring black talent.
I feel like this might be a part 1 and part 2 episode. Go on.
After 15 interviews, they hired someone else. And then that person was fired because they couldn't do the job that I could do. They came back to me with an offer that was then paused for more interviews. Then they decided to create a role just for me that I was perfect for. They offer me the position. We are negotiating the salary. I start with my absolute dream number. She says, we can't do that. I say, what can you do? She says, well, this is as high as we could possibly go. And I say, well, why don't we do that? She says, I'll have to check with leadership. When I said, hey, this is my dream number, and they said this is as high as we could go, I said, well, what are the factors you're taking into consideration? And they said, experience and skills. And I said, does equity count as a skill? And do I need to secure a different title before we negotiate so that I can have more experience listed on my resume? And the director of the whole program that I had interviewed at, who was my second or third interview and who liked me very much, pulled the offer. And
Why? What could possibly be the reason? Were
because
you told?
I was never actually told this. I was told that I was a good fit and it was the wrong timing. But an insider at this organization who referred me told me that he had spoken with her and said that I was too entitled. That's right, I was too entitled for the job that they created just for me.
I think the problem is that you had ideas, right? And when the person who is in the position who is supposed to be the helped,
Right.
Has ideas, that feels dangerous and threatening to the people in power.
Right.
Because it means if you have ideas, whether it's you should make more money or you should be offered a job or you have ideas about the program itself, that means that all of the good feelings that they're getting from themselves and from those around them, congratulating them for being so out of the box and thinking so creatively about how to solve these really difficult equity and inclusion problems,
Yeah.
those things are less meaningful in their minds because they're wrong. And they don't want to be told they're wrong. They just want to feel good about the things that they are thinking about doing.
Right. A lot of these structures are organized so that one person makes the decision. It's the person at the top decides. It's their people, It's their ideas, and everyone serves their agenda. And that does not work when you're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Necessarily, it's the opposite. And so how can you get anything done if there's no buy-in at the top, and if the person at the top refuses to see that they have a blind spot?
Well, stay tuned for part 2 where we get more in depth around the threatening of that, not necessarily that person, but a similar person, a person in leadership.